Hey everyone, this video is going to be a mishmash of different things. That's because I'm always doing a mishmash of different things. Right here at the moment, I'm picking zucchini, as you can see, and there's a lot of them. It's kind of crazy out here, but not as crazy as in the greenhouse, which I'll show you in a minute. I got a lot going on, and I'm working in a lot of different directions. Taking care of things at home, working in the garden and all that, pecking away at the new Homestead project, working on the garage a little at a time, enjoying the process, trying to have some fun, been doing that, and I'm also working on my bush camp out in the woods there that I talked about in the past. I'm progressing with that project. So life has been interesting. It's been a good balance between work and play, and I'm getting a lot done. But most of all, I'm enjoying it as I go along. Yeah, so let me get all the veggies put away, and I'll give you some updates on all of the things that we got going on. We are busy folks. Now, in my recent video, I said that I wasn't planning on growing anything in the greenhouse this year, but then I decided to plant my surplus in there and do a little more experimenting. I had never grown cucumbers indoors. I didn't know how they would like that. I put one zucchini plant indoors, all experimenting. I got a few of the Swiss chards in there. I know that they always do good in the greenhouse. And then I set up a tub with butternuts. Let me give you a greenhouse update. It is absolutely crazy in here. The cucumbers are taking over. It's going to look like Jumangi in here pretty soon. I mean, really, look, okay, and we just picked cucumbers. Look, cucumbers there. We just picked some of these there. Cuke. Look at this, a trio of cukes here. Another little guy starting here. Here's a cucumber ready to pick. There's another one coming. There's another one there. There's another one down there. And there's probably 100 small ones on there. It's been a continuous process to train this vine to go where I want it to go. You see, every one of these shoots here, and there's a lot of them, just wants to grow upward. And if I allow it to do that, it's just going to grow up and press against the plastic and probably get scorched on a hot sunny day. I don't want that to happen. So I'm continually running ropes and stuff, trying to make it go where I want it to go. I've been like a spider building a web. So I have to come over here and continually train it here to go and wrap around the rope. And it's doing it, as you can see. But then the next day there'd be like 5 inches of new growth going upward. Then I got to bend it down and tie it in place. Like here, see, this is a new shoot. This is all new growth since yesterday. And that one up there is already going up to the plastic. So I have to bend that down and tie it because I want to send this way. And if they grow along the perimeter, they really won't be shading anything. Now, it would be really cool to just let everything grow along the ceiling and get crazy. It would be a tunnel in here, and it would be really cool to see that. But my intention is to grow the greenhouse through the winter again, and because we're on the wrong side of the mountain, it's pretty tough to have sufficient daylight for growing and for our solar power in the winter time. But I'm going to give it a try. I don't know about you folks, but I have never seen anything like this before. This is one experiment that went really, really good. Now, I want to share another one of my experiments with you. I want to give you a little follow-up on the video that I did not long ago about the future of growing our food outdoors may be uncertain. Okay? I'll put a link to that video in the description below if you have not seen it. In that video, I showed you how the butternut squash that I had growing outside wasn't growing. It was looking horrible. Every time it rained, it looked worse and worse. So I uprooted a few plants, and I took a black tub, drilled some holes in the bottom of it, took dirt. This is not potting soil. This is just regular dirt same dirt that's in the garden, and I have it with chicken poop, a little bit of chicken poop, and I have it here in the greenhouse. It went through a few days of transplant shock, and now look at it. These are the same butternut plants I had growing outdoors. They looked absolutely horrible, and look at them now. Now this is an experiment because, for one thing, I've never tried to grow butternut indoors, and I've never tried to grow it upward. I have let it grow along a fence, and that works good because it goes in and out of the fence, but I've never tried to grow it up like this, and I'm having to give it a little assistance with some twist ties and some rope, and I don't know what the future of it is, but we will see. So they are climbing up the rope, but they don't grip the rope like the cucumbers do. The cucumbers send out runners, and they grab and hold on tight. You see that right there? Sent out a runner, grabbing a hold of everything. I'm not seeing the butternut do that. They just want to creep, and I'm trying to make them grow upward. We'll see what happens. Now down here, there is a little butternut squash down there. There was one there that was culling. Okay, that's culled. And that usually happens with the first squash. So I will keep you updated with the results of my experiments. There's a butterfly in here. I got to catch him and release him because he won't survive in here. I got a handful of treats for the egg factory. We'll see if they fancy it. Who wants the little culled squash? Oh. How about a strawberry? You want a strawberry? You want that? You want that? Oh boy. Did strawberry. Oh, they're picking everything out of my hands. Hey, that's my fingers, you crazy hands. How about a squash blossom? Squash blossom special. Here's another one. Squash blossom. Let's see. Hey, you popcorn chicken. Hey, man, popcorn chicken. Come on. Popcorn chicken, that's what we do. Popcorn chicken. This is how we make the popcorn chicken. Popcorn chicken. Let's go, popcorn. You crazy hands. Jeepers. We had a perfect score today. 7 eggs from 7 hens. And, you know, this is the normal size egg. And they're usually pretty uniform. A little difference in color because these are from the ISA browns, and the Barred Rocks lighter colored egg. But like I said, they're, except for the first egg or two that they lay, they've been uniform, always about the same size. And then look at this today. Look at this egg. That is the biggest egg that we have gotten so far. It's just nuts. That's got to be a double yoker. That's crazy. But I did hear some excessive cackling going on today. I can see why. Alright, so there's the monster egg. Let's see if it's a double yoker. Oh.
2 for 1.
That's the way to have it. It's a fried egg sandwich right there. Rose-breasted grosbeak, one of the prettiest birds. They're like the last to arrive here and the first to leave. And we have quite a batch of them this year. We have, that I can tell, 6 males and 6 females. Pretty song, beautiful song on them. Okay. What are you doing? What are you doing? When I'm reading the comments on my videos, quite often there'll be comments where people will be asking me, like, where's God in all this? I'm showing the homestead, I'm showing our garden, I'm showing our life, sharing our life with people, and they'll ask me, where's God in all this? Well, just because I don't preach to everyone, I end my videos with, God bless, and you can do what you want with it and interpret that however you want. But if you have to ask me, where's God in all of this? Well, God's right here, man. And if you can't see that with your own eyes, you got a problem. Island. This is what we picked this morning. 9 zucchinis and 4 cukes. Although there is another 4 or 5 cukes that are ready to harvest, but we'll get those another day. What do you think, Tildy? You want the zucchini? You want a zucchini? Yum. So I'm out in the woods here this morning, as you can see. I'm doing a little bit of work to my bush camp. Last year I mentioned that I was going to set up a bush camp, and I picked out a spot and started cutting the trail to it, but then we got real busy on the other property there building the garage, so I had to surrender my idea for a little while to do something else, just make some sacrifices. And that's, like I always say, you gotta sacrifice to go after other things. You gotta drop some things to pick up other things, but you can always go back and start where you left off, and that's what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here right now this morning is I'm doing a little more work to my fire pit. This area out here is, the topography is quite different than the rest of the land around. Most of the forest is hardwoods, mixed forest, but this area is mostly all spruce and balsam, and everything's covered with moss. All the boulders are covered with moss. I'm standing on quite a carpet of moss, and there's centuries of decayed sod beneath me. So to keep things safe, I'm digging out all the sod, and then I carry in gravel with 5-gallon buckets, and I fill the area, and I want to have about 6 or 8 inches of gravel beneath my fire pit. Then I put a steel ring, and then I load up around it with the gravel. So I did that, but just to make it a little safer, I'm digging out another foot or so of sod, and I'm going to carry in some sand, and I'm going to make a larger perimeter. I'm way out in the woods here, and I want to make it safe. And there's a lot of times you can't burn anyway because it's too dry. But like a morning like this, we had a little rain last night, and a little cooking fire would be good. See, this area out here is just sloping, boulder-studded terrain. And it's mission impossible to try and find a spot level enough to put a tent. So I have to make one, and that's what I've been doing. And actually, I've got a pretty good spot set up. I'll show you. And this is all sloping, big boulders. And right here, I've got a level spot. I leveled it out. You can see the terrain drop from there down to here. So the whole area where I'm making my campsite, I raked the forest floor, and I carried in about 20 barrels. You see my barrel right there? About 20 barrels of ground fodder, leaves, and moss, and all that stuff. And I packed it all in here. So it's been settling in with the rain, and now when it's all dried up, I'll be setting up my tent. My tent's going to be set up here. Then I'm raking a trail right here. It's hard to see right now because of the dappled sun. It's not the best time to be filming. Okay. And right here, I'm setting up my fire pit area. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to make a big perimeter of sand. I'm just going to dig out all the sod. So I have my fire pit area here, and then right here will be my lean-to, tarp lean-to, and then my trail goes up there to my privy. Just a temporary shelter, you know. I'm just going to throw a tarp on it, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, man. Oh, I wasn't really planning on putting a toilet seat on the barrel. I was just going to cut the appropriate size hole in the top of it and call it a day. It's all you need out here. But we're over at our dump, and those of you that follow my channel know that we are a dump. It's not a landfill, it's a transfer station. And they have a building where if you have something that's too good to throw away that someone else could use, you put it at the building. And around here they call it the mall. It's a small town mall with a hassle-free return policy. So anyway, you get some good stuff there. And we bring good stuff there. And a lot of people have seen the stuff that we get. But anyway, we're at the dump. There's 2 brand new Kohler toilet seats there. All right. Really, for the Kohler brand, these things are cheap pieces of crap. But nonetheless, the price was right. Just what I need for out here. And I just got to cut my hole in the barrel and fasten the toilet seat down. So we went to the dump, and now we're all set to take a dump. Some backwoods humor out there for this morning. I've been pecking away at this project a little at a time, even though I'm very, very anxious to have it in place. I just love this area out here. Like I said, it reminds me of the Pacific Northwest. It's all spruce and moss, and I'm very drawn to that type of topography. And this area just gives me a sense of place. I think everyone understands what I'm talking about. Some people feel at home when they go out to the seacoast or maybe the desert or the mountains or farmland. There's a certain type of area that makes them feel grounded. And this spot right here has always made me feel that way. I've been hunting these woods all my life, and I've always spent a lot of time out here in the spruce and in the moss. So, setting up a little bush camp here, set up my new Kodiak tent. I'll have a little lean-to, my little privy, my fire pit, and you'll be seeing the Dutch ovens come back into the game. When my channel started, you were watching me build a New York cabin. It was always me and Frankie doing our thing. You saw a lot of Frankie, his antics, but he's retired now. He's an old man. In fact, as I'm speaking to you now, he is at the vets. He's got old dog issues. We both do. In fact, I was supposed to be having an MRI today. He was going to the vets, and I was going to the docs to have an MRI, but my insurance company refused to pay for it, so that got canceled, and now I've got to go through some rigmarole to get that going. But anyway, this is the 2 old dogs will be back in action out here in the woods and doing some Dutch oven cooking and a little bit change of venue, so to speak. You used to watch me at the cabin. Now, over the last 5 years, you've watched me more of a homesteading scene as we set up a new homestead. It's all about gardening and greenhouse and just living in the woods. And now more of like the bushcrafting thing will come into the picture. So, and looking forward to it. And I know my subscribers will be looking forward to the change as well. After I decided on where I was going to set up my bush camp, I started cutting my trail. And my trail was just going to be basically a footpath out here. But then I changed my mind and decided to cut it wide enough to get my Polaris Ranger back in here, which was no easy task. That machine is 5 feet wide, and this is boulder-studded terrain. So the trail zigzags all over the place, where a footpath would have been like a fraction of the work. But the reason I'm doing it to get the Ranger in here is so that I can bring Frankie back in here. He can't make the journey anymore, walk in and out of here. So I'm making it so I can drive him in. And these two old dogs can be out here having some guy time. And I know a lot of you folks are really anxious to see more of Frankie. And hopefully we get to see more of him for another few years. But you know how it is. You never know what tomorrow brings. So you got to make the best of it when you can, and find a balance between work and play, and do all the things you need to do, and then do a bunch of stuff that you want to do and make it all work out. And that's what we are doing, and that's why I am out here today. A while ago I said that I would be changing the name of my channel. I still plan on doing that. I know a lot of people have asked me about that. I will still be doing that, and I will make an announcement when it happens. Nothing's going to change. You'll still come to the Boss of the Swamp channel. Everything will be here. Nothing's changing. The song is staying. No changes at all, just the banner and the name of it. That's all. Make a little change in that. Oh. But anyway, I'm going to shut this camera off, and I am just going to sit here and be alone with my thoughts for a while and say a prayer for Frankie, and hope the good old boy is all right. Yeah. So that's it for now, folks. All the best to you, and God bless.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go. There's a porky way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss.